Welcome to Let's Talk Blood Cancer, the patient podcast. My name is Adam Joyce, former blood cancer patient myself. And today joined on the sofa, some of you will recognise these faces, certainly if you're into football. It's a great privilege to welcome Ben Tozer, Ben Foster. Welcome in this morning, guys. For those that may not recognise you, who are not football fans, Tozer, why don't you introduce yourself?
So I'm Ben Tozer, former Wrexham and Cheltenham Town captain. And my dad sadly passed away with leukemia. So yeah, that's my story, my intro.
Everybody, I'm Ben Foster. You've got a lovely voice for podcast, by the way.
Oh, thanks,
yes.
It hasn't. You've got a lovely voice for podcast, you. I'm Ben Foster, former professional footballer, happily recently retired as well. I've been a patron for Cure Leukaemia since 2019 now, so 5-6 years. It's seen me do some fantastic fundraising events, whether it's London to Paris or a silly half marathon down the canals in Birmingham, and turning up to several other lovely events as well. It's all been a pleasure as well, though.
You're a massive supporter of Cure Leukaemia, aren't you, Foz? And of course, as you say, a patron of the charity as well. There's quite a link with our charity and football, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, yeah. I think what it shows is that this disease is just doesn't discriminate. Absolutely anybody can get it. Football, you'd think of them as prime specimens, athletes, fit as a fiddle. But even footballers can fall down with this disease. The likes of Cure Leukaemia, Petrov, Jeff Thomas, as we all know very well. So I think that connection there, it's quite scary, really, when you can see that, like I say, it doesn't discriminate. It doesn't pick. Anybody is at risk of it. So for me to come on board and help, be a patron, do some fundraising, go see some patients, it really is an absolute pleasure of mine.
And it's nice for me to hear that I've got two mates sat on the sofa together
Sometimes.
as well. Yeah. Tozer, your connection to football, for those that may not know?
Yeah, so my connection to football, I was a professional football for 18 years. I played over 600 games. I was club captain at several clubs, and I had a fantastic career, and I've just retired. So for me to, help and try and promote and raise awareness of this disease is like, now I have the opportunity to do that. It's amazing to be able to do that. As I said before, my dad died with the disease, so if I can give back in any kind of way, that'll be amazing.
Well, Tozer, you've mentioned Keith's name already, and if it's all right with you, I'd like to learn a little bit about Keith. What can you tell us about him?
Go on, Victor.
Yeah. So obviously for me, throughout my career, my dad was like, I almost played football for my dad more than I did for myself. He was there, he supported me through absolutely everything. He was even there when we won the league at Wrexham. For Wrexham. The only thing that really resonated with me the other day, I was watching Lando Norris play with his F1, and at the end his parents were there to greet him at the end, and but because my dad had this disease and kept it away from me, and I never knew that he was that ill. I knew he wasn't feeling very well, but I never knew he was that ill. I never got to have that moment with my dad after we won the league. So yeah, I mean, for me it's He epitomised everything in my football, so I'm very grateful, and I feel like that's probably part of the reason why I stopped playing as well, because once my dad died, the kind of flame went out. So yeah.
Is that how it felt?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You know what, Tozer? I'd like to come back to that in a little while. Do you mind if we go back to July 2023?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So your dad, you said he felt unwell. He was diagnosed on the Friday.
Yeah.
Bit of a whirlwind weekend. Tell us about that.
So we had pre-season, and on the Friday we'd been given the weekend off. So on the Friday I drove home and I spoke to him, and I just said he said, I'm going to go and get a blood test, and I was thinking, finally, I've spoken to people because he's in Plymouth, for context, which is 4 hours away, and I hardly ever go back to Plymouth since I moved away. So for me he almost hid away from me. Whenever he came to games, he'd get off before the end, and I thought that was a bit bizarre. But when you're so engrossed in playing, you almost don't think about it too much, and you just trust that he's all right. He's saying he's okay. So anyway, that Friday I rang him, spoke to him, and he said he's getting his blood test, and I was like, yeah, great. And then I didn't speak to him again until he tried to ring me on the Friday night, but I'd fallen asleep, so it was 9:30, 10 o'clock. So I rang him back first thing Saturday morning, and all I heard was like, beep, beep. And I said, Dad, are you in the hospital? I think he might have been in a bit of shock because he just wouldn't speak.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Dad, is everything okay? Are you okay? Are you at the hospital? He's like, yeah, I'm at the hospital. And I was like, right, okay. I said, trying to be positive, you're in the best place for you now. This is like, you're going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. Trying to raise his spirits, trying to boost his morale, because obviously you've been through it. The best way to kind of fight anything is to have probably a positive mindset, was my thinking. So yeah, that was, and to be fair, my dad was very traditional, old school. He would never tell me he loved me or whatever, but at the end of that phone call, we actually told each other we loved him, and that was the last time I spoke to him.
Wow.
So yeah, and then on the Sunday, I had a call from the hospital saying that he'd gone into an induced coma. They needed to do a brain scan. They did a brain scan, and they asked me if it was okay to operate on him because he'd had a blood clot. Basically, the options were operate and have a chance of survival, or don't operate and potentially be disabled. And I knew my dad wouldn't want it to be like that, so I had to make that call, and they had the operation, and they rang me and said everything's gone okay. Again, went to sleep. Next day, they said, the brain's swelling, there's a lot of swelling in the brain. So basically, I was at training, and then on the Tuesday, I think it was the Tuesday, I can't even remember what day it kind of happened, because it just all became a bit of a blur. And I was at training, and my brother said, right, you need to get down to Plymouth quickly, as quick as you can. And I ended up going to Crewe Station to get a train, and then literally I was on the platform, and my brother just said, no, Dad's done, he's on life support machine. Just if you can get it before he actually dies, then great. It was the worst journey of my life, to be fair, yeah.
So you had to travel from Crewe to Plymouth on public transport, not knowing whether that train would get in time for you to say goodbye to your dad.
Yeah.
I mean, that hits me, just hearing that story. Can you even remember that journey?
Gosh, I just remember I was literally I boxed myself in, the window was there, and I think people must have been coming and going and sitting in that seat there, but I was just so I was in a right mess, to be fair. I had every sort of emotion. I had anger, I had, upset. It was almost desperate to get there. I needed to get there, but it was obviously too late anyway. I did get there before he passed away, but it was all a massive blur. It wasn't very nice.
So you got to say goodbye?
Yeah, which is strange because you do kind of feel like you are talking to them, and you just want something, even if it's a flicker of an eyelash or something, and there's nothing back. So it was a bit weird, really. Yeah.
So the word leukemia, or even just blood cancer, had you got any idea about blood cancer or leukemia
Nothing
before
at
this
all,
happened to you?
No. And again, like I said, he kept everything kind of away from me. But I'm not feeling too well. I didn't realise he'd been having days off work and all that sort of stuff as well. But I had no idea what leukemia was, apart from the fact that it was a cancer. And then obviously I found out after it's a blood cancer. And of course, when I had that first phone call with him, and I knew it was treatable as well, it was curable, he got put straight on tablets. What would the tablets have been?
I'm not sure, buddy.
Yeah, anyway, they put him on these strong tablets to help him cure it. And like I said, there was I had loads of hope, and then obviously that just went really quickly.
And I'm being quite presumptuous here that your employer, your football club, would have supported you as best as they possibly could. But what did that support look like? And with the massive commitments placed upon you, your really important role, how did you balance that with just losing your dad?
I was with you, Foz, when I day-to-day in training. I almost just got on with it. I just cracked on with it. And then it just kind of started to unravel and unfold that it wasn't right. I wasn't right. I was playing games and just my head wasn't in the game, and it was completely different to how I used to be when I was playing. So, but the club were great. They were great. They were really supportive. A lady called Julie at the club was fantastic. She almost told me I need to take some days off. But at the end of the day, when you're fighting for your position in the team, if you show any kind of weakness or if you take yourself out of the team, all it takes is that one moment, one game, you lose your spot, you don't get back in the team. So it's in us, isn't it? You have to fight. You're fighting for your place every single day in training. So for me to accept that and take, the moment away from the club was hard. It was really hard.
It's an impossible situation as a footballer, isn't it?
It
You in that particular instance as well, because obviously Tozer is the captain of the football club, and he's a leader of men, Tozer, as well. So within that change room, everybody would look up to him. Everybody would follow him to the letter of what he would say. So he's got to try and show everybody that, no, I've got big, broad shoulders. But it's impossible to do. He's in an impossible situation. He's struggling. You can see that he's struggling. And the manager can see that you're struggling. But what do you do about it? I mean, in an ideal world, you haven't got the things to worry about, like the team and the performance and losing your place, and you could take a bit of time off. But how long is enough time?
I know, yeah, as well, because when it's pre-season and you're getting fit, that's what pre-season's for. You're there to get fit. If you take a week off, you lose so many weeks of fitness. They have to go back and do it again, and then you're kind of playing catch-up for the whole season. So that's always in the back of your mind as well.
Toz, did you ever consider stepping away?
Yeah, I definitely.
What stopped you?
Probably my wife. I always talk to her. I'm very open and honest with her about everything. So, yeah, I feel like I had some bad moments as well. I used to drive. So basically, I lived at home, and also I had a place up in Nantwich. So I'd be away from home half a week, and I'd always ring Dad on the way at night. So I'd ring him at 9:30 at night when the kids are in bed and I'm driving up, and I'd ring him. And then, of course, I'm not ringing him now because he's dead. So that was when it was hard. That was when I had a lot of thinking time, and it's sad, isn't it? But you almost, everything kind of goes through your mind, and you're in a dark place, and you're in that moment, and I'm half thinking something. I could just end this now, just crash my car, which is so irrational. I would never do that in a normal state of mind, but that's just what I guess grief does to you.
How long ago was this, Toz, now? How long has it been?
2.5 years.
At that time, do you think it's just never going to change? It's never going to get better? Nothing's going to help?
Yeah, but also, with time helps. It doesn't obviously heal you, because I'll get upset about it still now when I talk about it. So, but definitely it does. You do feel better, and you get better over time, without a doubt. It helps to talk about it as well.
I don't think there's a prescription for managing grief.
No.
Is there?
No.
But there will be stacks of people watching this podcast who are experiencing all sorts of emotions.
It's like I said,
you.
I tried to ignore it, get on with it. Yeah. But of course, you have like your songs, your favourite happy songs, and they bring you back to their memories, and it's nice. But yeah, again, if I go back now, would I have done things differently? I don't know. I was very open and honest about it, but I was also trying to fight it as if everything was going to be okay. Maybe I'd have took a bit more time. It was just the way it all happened. It was. Dad passed away that day. The next day, we were arranging his funeral, clearing out all his stuff from his house, back up to training. Don't go back to Plymouth again until the funeral. Wow. Funeral's 3 days before the first game of the season. Yeah. Don't stay down in Plymouth. Literally leave the wake. Halfway through when everyone's celebrating his life. Didn't touch a drink of alcohol for the first game of the season. And it was like I never went back to Plymouth then until like the November or December, when it was like time I had to. I basically had to go back there, like to kind of almost let things unravel and see people, because I'd not been there. So yeah, that was them events. That's what made it really difficult, I guess.
Was it a bit of an escape? Did you manage to find an escape in being so busy?
Yeah, that was my escape. Yeah, just being busy. That was probably what helped me really. Just like I had a focus, something to focus on to get me through it, and that definitely helped. But I suppose when you're playing, it's the pressure, isn't it? You don't realise that you're used to all this pressure, but then you have this added pressure on top of the kind of stress of that. So I think that's that. Yeah.
And I'm really aware you haven't really spoken about this before, but you've chosen to come onto the Patients podcast to talk about it. Why now?
Just feel because, like I said before, career's finished. It's just now I feel like if I can do anything to kind of give any support or awareness or help back, then why not? Like it's if I can help anyone, or if I can help one person decide that they were going to go and get a blood test, for example, when they're contemplating or thinking about it, then that's amazing. That could save their life, Or if there's one person who knows that their dad's not well, but their dad's too proud, like my dad was, or too scared, like my dad was, and they can almost force them to go and do it, like I didn't, then again...
How long do you think your dad was not well for?
It was quite... Looking back now and things kind of unravelling, it was quite evident for like at least 6 months.
Do you think things would have been differently if 6 months previous he would have gone and got a blood test?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. He would have had more time at least, you know, which, you know, with the help and the support and the care that he would have gotten, rather than trying to do it on his own. Without a doubt.
And when you say not feeling very well, what does that include?
So he had, again, I didn't know because I didn't visibly see him, but he had bruising around all over his kind of body. He was having like fever, sweats, and just generally feeling unwell. But again, I didn't realise this until I spoke to my uncle after he passed away, because my uncle lived with my dad at that time, and he said, he just wasn't well, and you know, he was taking X amount of like paracetamol, ibuprofen to try and get him through it. But definitely would have helped.
One thing I'm very familiar with is how we, as people, when we're not well, we find all sorts of excuses as to why we're not well. So having bruising, for example, or did I fall over? Certainly in my case, that's what happened. What was your dad putting it down to? What was he attributing his poor symptoms to? What did he tell you he thought might be wrong?
What he was saying was he had long COVID. He said, I had long COVID. But he said that a doctor had told him that he was suffering with long COVID. So, and I just wasn't accepting it. But again, every time you speak to your dad, go and get checked. Yeah, I am. Like every day goes by. Yeah, I am. Like I'm ringing my uncle, like just take him. Yeah, but my dad, you know, is a proud man. He's just like, no, I'll do it myself. I'll do it, and obviously, time just goes on. It just flies by, doesn't it? You think one day turns into a week and a month and 6 months. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there we are in July 23.
Yeah.
You sharing your story is massive. You said your career's over now and that's why you're doing it, but your footballing career might be over. But what's next for the Tozer and Fozzie partnership?
I don't know, definitely not darts. We played darts yesterday. We've got some sort of competition going on, haven't we?
We're both very competitive people, so we'll find something to do. We've got a dartboard downstairs. We played 26 legs.
Yeah, 25 legs.
25 legs of darts yesterday. I was fully sweating.
Yeah.
We were fully sweating.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Fozzie came out on top on this occasion. 14 and
I know it hurts him. I know it hurts him so bad as well.
You can tell that.
He's very competitive. I'm very competitive, and I know it hurts him as well.
I'll get my revenge next time we play. But no, we're you know, Fozzie's got all of his media stuff going on. I'm doing a bit of media stuff as well, thankfully, through Fozzie's help, I guess, and Tom and Jamie and everyone. But yeah, I'm doing a bit of like commentary or punditry with Sky, and we've got a podcast with Wrexham, and you guys have your football filling podcast.
He's fit as a fiddle, Toes, right?
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, so
what can we drag him into?
It leads us on nicely to. So I've been lucky enough to do a few London to Parises with Cure Leukaemia, and for anybody that's never done one before, it is about the best 4 days you'll ever do. It's tiring, and you'll be knackered, and your undercarriage will be sore, I promise you, but you'll have the best time. For 4 days, it is the best time, and then eventually you'll arrive into Paris, and it is just, it's all worth it. So we'll get you involved in one of those, Toes,
yeah, that sounds good. To be fair, my dad loves cycling. And he had a bike, which is like an old rally. I think it's titanium frame.
Yeah.
Would that be right? Titanium or aluminium?
Possibly.
Frame?
I mean, Foz is the cyclist.
An old titanium frame.
With the gears on the thingy. And
that's proper old school.
I've got that bike.
Oh, that's about a little bit. Mate, you'll be able to go, I promise you, on eBay, you'll be able to find all the little bits and bobs for it, right? And you'll be able to proper get it shiny again.
Yeah, no, my uncle did that. My uncle
that'd be lovely, that, mate.
I think we're here. I think we're here somewhere with this, aren't we?
Yes,
the London to Paris cycle ride on the bike that belonged to your dad.
Imagine.
That's definitely got legs in it.
I'm
liking that as a story.
I don't know how hard it'll be on that bike.
No. The people that do it, right, from all walks of life,
absolutely.
Isn't it? From absolutely all walks of life.
Yeah.
There was a girl doing it last year. She was doing it on a hybrid bike, big, massive tyres, right? The bike must have weighed a ton.
Wow.
And you just get through it.
Yeah,
there's loads of different pace groups. You take your time with it. It's not a race. Beautiful.
I can imagine that's a nice atmosphere as well, no?
Fantastic. It's absolutely amazing. If anyone watching the cast wants to know a little bit more about the London to Paris bike ride, just click the link that's in the description. I've heard a rumour that you might be doing the Tour 21 2027.
Who said this?
Well, I can't tell you who told me this morning, but it was a case of when you've got him on the sofa, ask him if he's actually going to do any of the stages of the Tour 21.
I'm 100% going to do some of the stages. Whether I can do the whole lot of it is very doubtful. Absolutely very doubtful. But I'm 100% do in some stages, because for me it kind of ticks two massive boxes. One is obviously helping the charity, the cause, driving a bit of interest in what we're trying to do, and two is riding my bike up some world famous climbs, and that is what I've really got a lot of focus on. I think when you've played football for as long as what we have, you don't really ever get chance to do anything like that. You're so you always have to just focus on being fit for the next game or the next this or the next that. So now that we're retired, you can really start to look at the stuff that you've missed out on.
Yeah. I feel like if I do it, I'm going to beat you.
It's not a race. I told you this, Tozer, okay? Yeah.
I love this.
It's not a race, all right?
That's my aim, yeah. Get fitter than Fozzie on the bike. That'll be hard, won't it?
Well, I can tell you something. I'll be there on the London to Paris bike rides, and if you two are there, we'll certainly be having a little bit of banter between us. The football, just as we kind of bring things to a close, really, I guess, from a football perspective, it was a help and maybe a hindrance to you throughout what you went through with your dad. Mm-hmm. Looking back now, anything that you wish you could have done differently?
I mean, apart from the obvious of driving down to Plymouth and getting him in a car and taking him there myself, which, was that possible? Yes, but realistic? No. Like, you know, he's my dad. He's old enough and capable enough to go and do it himself, and it's just sad that I feel like it's that kind of generation of people who are just a bit too proud. But don't be too proud. Just don't be too proud to do it. Just go and do it. And also, you're going to be scared. Everyone's going to be scared, aren't they? Like, you've been through it. When people get ill and everyone starts overthinking and worrying about it, the best thing to do is just go and get checked.
The people that I've met through being a patron, some of the, like I say, it doesn't discriminate. I'm talking kids, you're talking adults,
footballers, like I said,
footballers, healthy people, and everybody's scared at first. When you hear that news, it is frightening. But the reason why I'm involved in the charity in the first instance is because of the people that are involved with the charity, the people that do such unbelievable work with a smile on their face every single day, really put everybody at ease. And that's the part where it's awful news, it's horrific, but there are people there that will help you and they'll put you in the right place to do it as well.
Tozer, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your story. It's been an absolute privilege to talk to you. Fozzie, thanks for everything that you do and continue to do.
Pleasure.
For our amazing charity. Everybody, you have been watching Let's Talk Blood Cancer, the Patient Podcast.